the desert of the real.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Welcome.
I am your host, Ryan Hudson, and joined with me, as always, is Captain
Jason Dietz.
The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast where I forced Jason to watch big blockbuster movies he's refused to watch because he didn't think they're worth his time, or he's refused to go back to because he doesn't think they're worth his time. Because you've seen this one.
Several times.
Yeah, but
This is not one of the ones that fits under our intro.
this one, you don't like the other ones, though, and you haven't seen all of them.
This one is magnificent.
Yeah.
I love this.
There's a lot of good stuff in this movie. So good. We are here to ask if this movie has anything deep to say. We're two high school English teachers, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, philosophy, and film studies and ethics in our films and push you, the listener, to think critically about your entertainment. Which is funny because...
all of those things are
Sorry.
true.
Yeah.
Those are true statements.
All the things in our intro is true.
I think so. Except for the exceptions as noted.
Yeah. Sometimes you've seen the movies we're watching, but other times you don't think... Like, for example, we did Lord of the Rings. You were not interested at all to ever step toe back in Middle-earth.
And I still am not.
Which is sad, but this movie...
I stepped toes. Multiple toes in Middle-earth.
Someone
for
asked
you.
me... Yeah, that's true. Someone asked me what my hobbies are. I said...
Torturing me.
as lame as it may be, it's that I have a podcast. So
How is that lame?
This
is the dopest
there
podcast.
There is a cliche about
is there?
having a podcast.
Oh, you have forced me into a cliche also on top of everything else?
Well, our podcast is cool.
I think we might need to change the intro because it really only pertained to the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, there's something about you... somehow, I'm just forcing you to watch movies is the real truth.
Okay.
But what I've also realized is this podcast is also kind of an exploration on just franchises.
Sure.
Like, for example, did we need a 4th and 5th Indiana Jones? Maybe not. But at the same time, you found things in the 5th one that you really liked.
I did.
And Marvel, one of your favorite Marvel movies is Spider-Man No Way Home, which is one of the last ones.
It is true.
And as much as this franchise should not have gone into 4th and 5th territory, I think it'll be interesting to fully explain what is wrong with them, or what is different about them from, like, this one, a really good one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just an exploration on film, which is what I like to talk about anyway.
Me too. So there may be a revision of our intro coming soon. Something for everyone to look forward to.
Our fans are really excited. Okay, Deets, before we get too far in, there's kind of a lot to talk about the backstory of Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right.
So, this movie came out in 2003. In Disney, this hadn't yet kind of had a major success compared to other companies around them. For example, Disney used to have Miramax as one of its outlets, and Miramax famously screwed the deal with Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings became successful for someone else.
Yeah.
And also Harry Potter for WB is just they've had 2 successful movies so far. And The Matrix is also going on for WB. So the Disney is looking at relatively huge movies exploding, because the early 2000s was kind of a magical time for film.
Sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot because studios would eventually become, I guess, Marvelized to some degree. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And it's pre-social media where fanboys are still angry about stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they're directing ideas like they kind of do with other franchises later on. like, for example, Star Wars and stuff. Yeah. Also, Star Wars prequels happening somewhere else type of thing. Eventually, Disney will acquire some of these later on. But the point is, the field was white.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Disney producers were eager, basically. So this is a huge film. Like, I forget, the budget's somewhere like $130 million to like just to make this movie, an original story. The thing is, this is not the first Disney movie based on a Disneyland attraction. So there was 3 that came before them. All of them. There was a Mission to Mars movie. It was a Brian De Palma movie, and I have not seen this one, but it is based on a Disney attraction.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then there was the Tower of Terror, which was more like a Disney Channel movie, it feels like, but based on a ride. And then, of course, everyone's favorite, The Country Bears. Which, when it came out, I had no idea that was a Disneyland thing.
Didn't until just now. And
I've been to Disneyland just like 3 times in my life, and I've never seen The Country Bears ever. Oh. But regardless, Disney itself was like, we can't do another Disney ride because we've already had 3 bombs in a way. Also, this movie was kind of a battle the whole way through because producers were actively trying to kill it or major ideas. So for Johnny Depp's in. Johnny Depp's huge that he's in this movie. For and sure. it makes it attractive for a lot of people, like producers. But like Michael Eisner, who was the Disney CEO at the time, he was actively against so many things that Johnny Depp was trying to do. So, like, for example, there's a scene in the movie, like, midway through the movie, Barbossa and Jack are talking to each other, and it's, like, in Barbossa's ship. Right. If you go back and watch that scene, you'll notice Johnny Depp does not have eyeliner on, and he looks cleaner and stuff. Because really? That's the first scene they shot. That was what Michael Eisner was trying to get him to look more like. Because famously, Jack Sparrow was written to be kind of like a normal-ish character, and Johnny Depp comes in and is like, let me tweak some of these knobs here and stuff.
How did they cast Johnny Depp then?
So
Johnny Depp, I don't think has ever played a normal character.
Right, but he's got that box office drop, right. Or he did. I don't know where he is now, basically. But he basically came in. He came in with the bearded. His braided beard. He came up with all these ideas for Jack Sparrow. He wanted Jack Sparrow to have had his nose cut off, and it was like blue. And he like, let's have him be afraid of pepper or things that would make him sneeze and make his nose fall off. Like crazy ideas like that. Anyway, so the producers and various other people were like, Johnny Depp cannot be this weird. It's going to drive our male fans away. They a large part was they didn't want him to seem gay. That was a thing that they were concerned about. So if you go back in that specific scene, it's like, let's clean him up. But like, that's weird. The director had to like put together like, this is what we're doing, this is the vision, and like show them like this is how it will be, to kind of convince them. But multiple times, people, producers, whatever, were like, we have to stop this is too expensive, Johnny Depp's ruining it, yada yada yada. So hypothetically, the Jack Sparrow character could have been written like a Tony Stark character. This guy just comes in, he's good at everything, he's suave, he gets away with stuff, Yeah. It's easy to just be a little bit like that, but Johnny Depp's one that makes it work. Like, why? Absolutely. We love Jack Sparrow, even though he wants to be the pirate and, do piratey things and gets away with stuff all the time. It would be easy to despise him if someone else
wasn't Johnny Depp.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy how it's a miracle, like the magic trick of how much it works. Like, he got nominated for an Academy Award for this
film. He's Johnny Depp. He's one of my top 5
actors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we should do?
It could be anybody, as long as it's weird. Anybody.
Yeah. Wait till, I don't know, the later the sequel movies, we'll call them, where things
Yeah.
are different. This movie is just a true blue success. In fact, it stayed in the top 5 for 12 weeks when it came out. People, like word of mouth, people were going back to see it.
Yeah.
And I kind of, later on, I want to kind of talk about why this movie was so successful. Because that's something interesting for at least our podcast's sake. Like, what about this movie is connecting with people? Like, what is there that people are seeing and saw and stuff to want to go back over and over again?
I have some ideas.
And the thing about pirate movies is they were a staple in Hollywood for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, pirate movies was just a major genre. And then they died out because, it became expensive. You had to have ships. You had to have, like, elaborate sets. And so, literally, they couldn't afford them. They just kind of died out. But, randomly, in the 80s, Pirates kind of comes back.
Goonies?
Yeah, Goonies is kind of part of it. A movie that didn't really work called Pirates by Roman Polanski. There was Ice Pirates in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it kind of had a little turnaround in the 80s. And then in the 90s, the different things were being thrown. Like, so you have Hook, which is more like a Peter Pan's kind of like its own genre, but Pirates is a big part of it.
Right.
And then you have Muppets Treasure Island
That's
is
a
there.
great one.
And then a movie I watched for the first time for this podcast, Cutthroat Island.
I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, so Cutthroat Island is famous for killing pirate movies because it was a huge bomb. It was crazy expensive to make, and did not make near. It lost over $150 million adjusted for inflation. It also, Gina Davis was married to the director, I think, and they got divorced after it. It kind of put a mark on both of their careers and stuff.
Wow.
So I watched it to kind of see the last significant pirate movie before this movie. And Cutthroat Island is like both the best movie ever and worst movie ever at the same time.
Wow.
Which is hard to explain, but when you watch it, it's easy to understand. Where it's like, it's kind of bad acting going on. Kind of silly stuff going on here and there. But it's a huge, admittedly fun pirate adventure.
Huh.
And Pirates of the Caribbean actually, I think, owes a lot to Cutthroat Island. Like, there's a scene that takes place at Port Royal where this movie starts and stuff. And there's, like, even a scene, you know how in Jack Sparrow, he's escaping the guys with Elizabeth, he grabs a rope and hits a thing and flies up.
Yeah.
There's a scene basically like that in Cutthroat Island. Grab onto this thing and we'll go up
Lift
there.
you up.
And, like, there's a whole sequence where there's a pirate ship and another ship shooting at each other. Let's swing across and stuff. And there's even, like, the guy gets stuck under the ship as it's filling with water. So there's some, like, direct scenes that are similar.
Interesting.
And I could see people loving it, but it's also not great. But I recommend it just to see what it's like.
Where it came from.
Yeah, it kind of has more in common with Muppets Treasure Island than, like,
An actual treasure. Island.
yeah, it's yeah.
Hmm.
But you know, it's there. I wish it was better, but at the same time, I had a good time. You know.
Well, that's what movies are for. Sometimes.
That's what movies are for. It's also all you had in the 90s, so
Yeah.
not that people saw it. And as a personal note, for me, this movie came out, I was in second grade. And I was just starting to choose to see a live action movie or a movie that's not a cartoon.
Not animated.
Yeah. But Pirates, I remember choosing, like, I want to see that movie. So I think for me, part of that's like, yeah, look at me seeing this PG-13 movie. It's fun. Like, it's got jokes that kids can enjoy and stuff. It was a kind of a step for me, I think.
Cool.
Which is kind of, you know, a reason why I kind of really like this movie.
I really like this movie because it's awesome.
Yeah, it is
so
awesome.
We've got Orlando Bloom. He's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rush is amazing as Barbosa.
He won an Oscar right before this movie or something,
He's
too.
so good.
He's amazing. Keira Knightley is amazing in this movie.
Yeah.
She acts like she's been an actor for years, basically.
So my main thing that I'm going to talk about is the critical thinking of the characters in this movie. Mm-hmm. And she's brilliant. She's beautiful and brilliant as a character.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Hollywood pulls that off almost ever. Like some of the things that she does, the choices that she makes. She's a very intelligent, beautiful female character. And I wish we got more of those.
Elizabeth feels like a real life person.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, let's have her do X, Y, and Z and be amazing at everything. She clearly has some flaws, which makes her human. And her desires, her character goals are also like super interesting.
Yeah.
She wants to be a pirate.
Right.
Which is super cool.
That is super cool. I mean, considering who she is, where she comes from, like as far as the character goes.
Yeah.
Like, really. So we have 4 just amazing performances that would have been amazing if they were just on their own in their own movie. Mm-hmm. But packing all 4 of them together, how could this not have been, a masterpiece that it is? So we've got that piece. And then as far as critical thinking goes, Johnny Depp's character is so interesting because he can turn off his intelligence. Like, he doesn't ever turn it off, but he can appear to turn it off to manipulate people. Mm-hmm. Like, he's incredibly intelligent character, but sometimes he doesn't want to be that, and so he turns it off. And I think that's an interesting choice. I think not many people can do that.
That's a key thing with Jack Sparrow's character. He is smart. He was planning. Will's correct. You were planning this since you learned my name.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah. And it's clear he was.
Yeah.
And he keeps on switching, seemingly switching back and forth for his own gain, but it's because it's part of a plan.
Right.
It's not random. And not to throw too much shade at the sequels yet, but I think that's where when a different director and other people step in, they don't understand that basically because
it's stupider.
Yeah, and this movie, you're right. He's either pretending to be dumb. Maybe that everything he is just an act to let people's guard down. He does his perma-drunk thing. But I think part of it is to let people
underestimate
make them underestimate him. I think it's all part of his genius.
Yeah, so the performances themselves we have that makes this amazing, but also the characters, they're all dynamic characters. With the possible exception of whoever the Commodore guy is. Yeah. He just pissed me off at the end of the movie. Nobody... So that's actually one of the 2 flaws that I see in this movie.
Oh, really?
The way the Commodore acts at the end of this movie...
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about?
Because, you explain your thought, because I have...
Okay, because he's just oh, well, I guess I'll give up this woman that I've loved since... she was a little girl because whatever, which is admittedly creepy, but no one is going to do that. No one would do that.
But he's the true gentleman that way.
Yeah, that's bullcrap. Nobody's going to do that. Basically, other than that.
I like him because he kind of stands as direct comparison to piracy, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah,
he's I'm going to do everything officially by the book, even when it comes to courting this woman, basically. Yeah. Admittedly, I just learned this. One of the original plans was to make him more of a genuine love interest, to kind of make a a love triangle type of thing. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I like that about him specifically. That.
Well, agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
I thought we were going to agree on everything.
Do you know who Jack Sparrow, like, famously is using inspiration for the mannerisms? Keith Richards.
Oh, really?
In fact, he wrote a letter to Keith Richards saying, "Hey, I'm basically doing you." Like, that's the thing. And it's, like, deliberate.
Right.
Like, and not that I even know Keith Richards. I know Keith Richards through Jack Sparrow somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he acts or acted.
I don't either.
From Rolling Stones.
Right.
No.
Yes, I know who Keith Richards is. So,
here's
great acting, great characters. We have great scenes. Like, iconic, memorable, and there are a lot of them. It's not building up to one great scene. Like the march across the bottom of the ocean, that's a magnificent scene. It's so good.
Take a walk.
And then the last thing is there's so many lines in this movie that are just in and of themselves great lines, but then in the context of the scenes, the acting, the characters, they're just jaw-dropping. Yeah. So, yeah, there's almost nothing wrong with this movie, in my opinion.
I love it when movies, especially these movies...
But why is the rum gone?
Oh, it must have been so bad for you. Well, it already is now. But I love the vocabulary of Jack Sparrow.
I was going to mention that, too.
And, of course, Barbossa, too.
Yep.
Just because, like, the writing, it's period accurate, but it just feels like poetry when you hear it. Yep. Like, my favorite one is when Elizabeth meets Barbossa and she says something, a lot of big words in there, but we're not but humble pirates. And then the next thing he says is, I'm disinclined to acquiesce to your request.
Yes.
It means no.
So good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, anyway, I love at the end when Jack Sparrow, when he's like, I think we've all grown. I forget everything he says, but...
Grammatically. Ecumenically. Oh, man. This is a movie I could watch over and over.
I'm going to come back to this, but I label this movie perfect.
Okay.
Like a capital P perfect.
Okay.
And I don't do that for every movie.
I do it for most of the ones I picked. But, yeah. Especially Birdemic.
Especially Birdemic. In fact, it's weird. People don't think of Birdemic more often.
It's shocking.
One of the best character introductions of all time. Okay. Also, Indiana Jones is up there. But sure. This is like that times 10, kind of. Like, I took a communications class in college, and the professor was literally like saying how she read these articles, how Johnny Depp wasn't bathing for weeks to be like a true pirate, yada yada yada, and like how gross that is. But when you see his face for the first time, she remembered hearing women like gasp in the audience because of how handsome Johnny Depp is and stuff. That lesson was about confidence or something.
Right.
But you learn so much about him from he like takes his hat off to the dead pirates. He's trying to scoop the water out, and then famously steps off the sinking ship like it was all part of his plan.
Yeah.
I learned, and it's probably true, that doing that simple gag was like $50,000 to make that contraction work or something. I don't know. That's just a number I heard, but it works because it's the best.
Yeah. I agree.
Some things I like, I like how Jack Sparrow doesn't hesitate to save a stranger.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is that like a Disney version of a pirate? Maybe, but as a character thing, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And
he does it multiple times.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So, right, that's what I was talking about. These characters are so rich. Like, it would have been really easy for him to just be this evil pirate guy or this, nice pirate guy, but he's not. He's not either of those. He's this complex mix of different drives. I mean, ultimately he wants the Black Pearl. That's his main drive.
Yeah.
But all these other things that are mixed in, it's amazing that one, that like the character was conceptualized that way, but two, that he can pull it off so well.
Yeah.
Like it's really awesome.
Man, there's a deleted scene in the second movie, which it's a real bummer that it's deleted. But when he meets a character who's the one that branded the P for pirate on his wrist.
Okay.
And in the deleted scene, it's something about you broke your contract with the company for you let cargo go or something. And Jack Sparrow says, people aren't cargo. And that's a thing that's not in the movie anymore, but it would add to like the character of like, there is good in this guy,
for sure.
You know?
For sure.
Anyway.
So this has one of the best exposition scenes.
Multiple scenes.
Right. But like I'm just specifically thinking of the one with Barbossa and Elizabeth where like basically the whole curse and everything and all of that gets explained.
Yeah.
Like it does not at all feel like exposition. It's so natural and it flows and it's perfect and
there that's the thing though, but there are other scenes where people just have to explain something,
right,
but it never feels like exposition being dumped on you. That's probably the best example because Jeffrey Rush is just it sounds like a story. It's like, you best start believing in ghost stories. So you've never been
living in one.
You've never been to Disneyland?
I went when I was like 3. I have very, very vague memories of Disneyland.
So, obviously, this movie is based on a ride. It's actually the last ride Walt Disney himself helped conceptualize before he died. Because the thing about a lot of Disney attractions, it's what would Walt Disney think is entertaining and fun. So you have like Frontierland with cowboys. You have pirates. You have a haunted mansion with like, you know, stuff like, oh, what would a literal boy think is fun. So pirates, obviously. Pirates have always been huge for actually, I just learned this. I forget what the movie's or the book is called. Arguably the first historical fiction book was about pirates.
Like Robinson Crusoe?
Robinson Crusoe is a huge stepping stone for... Yeah, just like, doesn't Crusoe come first?
Yeah, Crusoe's the first novel.
Yeah, it's like the first novel, kind of. And so Pirates see Robinson Crusoe, and then there's a book called Pirates, and I think that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, in fact, the first live-action Disney movie was Treasure Island. So pirates have always kind of been in Disney and kind of literature in a big, strong way. So this idea of you just go through a ride and let's look at pirates being pirates and stuff. There are a lot of things in this movie that are seen in the ride. So, for example, a skeleton drinking a bottle of rum and the rum going through the skeleton. That's a thing in the ride. Because they made the, I don't know, whatever it is, a ribbon or whatever, looks like wine going through. Pirates chasing women in Tortuga. That's things in the ride. So in the ride, apparently, obviously, with times changing, they, instead of pirates chasing women, they put like food in the women's hands or something. Now they're chasing. Oh, now they're just hungry. Stuff like that. Wow. There's other things too. Like, I remember, once again, way back, I was 8 years old, reading a little newspaper, waiting for a haircut, and there was an article about like, oh, little Easter eggs here and there, like a skeleton on the ground with a sword through its back, and there's also like with a crab. That's just a thing in the ride. These cave systems with treasure in the ride. I think the ride ends with you're in your boats and there's people shooting cannons and like water splashes and stuff. That's like the ending of the movie with you're sailing in it. Just things from the ride here and there. And now obviously they've added Jack Sparrow. There's multiple Jack Sparrows and stuff in the ride, which didn't used to be there. Yeah. But if you were familiar with the Disneyland, it's like, oh, that's from the ride. That's from the ride. And in the following movies, there are still things here and there, but there's probably the most from this movie. Just
That makes
little
sense.
things that probably only diehard fans would know. Also, diehard fans who go every year would know, probably. But some of those things are in there.
That's cool.
Because I was thinking, I wonder if Dietz would like, it's illogical to drink when you're a skeleton form because it's...
No, like the logic of this movie is consistent. Like it's internally consistent.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for.
Is that too much to say?
Is that too much to ask? Like, for crying out loud. I'm good with fantastical. I'm good with impossible as long as it's internally consistent.
Hey,
that's it.
All right, that seems easy to please.
Okay. Apparently not the movies
not.
you pick.
This is the biggest movies of all time.
Wait, you were surprised when I said Johnny Depp is one of my top 5. Why?
I am. Mostly because it feels like he hasn't been in anything recently.
I'm old, so...
Allegations and blah, blah, blah aside, the past decade, I don't know how much success...
Okay, but he's like Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. He's Sweeney Todd. Yeah. He can be... Like, he's admittedly not as good at Willy Wonka as Gene Wilder, but still, it's an iconic role that he plays. He can be anybody.
He's the true chameleon.
Yeah. Well, I think Christian Bale's more of a chameleon than he is, but he can convincingly be anyone.
Also, he probably still does this. He visits children's hospitals dressed as Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because I think he carries that costume with him wherever he goes.
Oh, really? That's funny.
But there's plenty of videos of him doing that to children.
That's awesome.
Coming in as Jack Sparrow.
That's awesome.
Oh, like even Gibbs sleeping on pigs.
The pigs.
It's because there's a guy that does that in the ride. Stuff like that.
Oh, I wondered about that.
So the secret sauce that kind of lit, like, oh, now maybe there's something here, because pirates, like I said, pirate movies were kind of like a like a blacklist. This isn't just pirates, it's ghost pirates. They're skeletons sometimes, but they're like, oh, that's too expensive, the CGI is too much, so like, only in Moonlight, so it's not all the time. That type of stuff. So that's reasons why things were made. But it was like, maybe if it's ghost pirates, it could be a pirate movie. Yeah,
like the Moonlight thing makes it work, and it makes it powerful because.
But it was a product. It was a result of necessity,
like
which is interesting.
That is really interesting.
Because literally it was already expensive, but more CGI is more expensive.
Right.
And this is ILM who just did the prequels, so those same guys are like improving their craft. And the next movie, Davy Jones, is still arguably the best CGI character. It's insane how good these movies look.
Yeah, even like 20 years later.
Yeah. Okay, the last pro I have is the use of setups and payoffs. Chekhov's gun all over the place. Yeah. Like, even little things, like Will Turner knows how to throw his sword to stop the door opening. He uses it again to save his life at the end. Elizabeth faints because of the corset at the beginning. She pretends to faint at the end. Like, so many things. Everything is set up here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wasted at all.
Yeah, I agree.
That's part of the reason why I think this is a perfect movie, because there's no fat on this. There's just it's just the story and things that move the plot along.
Yep. I agree.
So good.
Okay, so the end of this, I think if he had just been like a little bit bitter, it would have been flawless for me.
Jack Sparrow?
No, the Commodore guy. Like, it's just...
I will say this, maybe as an excuse, because like they didn't know this was going to be so big. Like, they didn't know they're going to make a trilogy, so this was a standalone until they kind of... We will get there next week, but this is one of the most intelligent ways to make a sequel and to expand story. That does have a payoff in the next movie. His character being bitter, if that makes you feel better.
Okay.
So we'll see how you feel about it next week, but maybe the writers felt the same way.
cool. Other things that make it costuming is magnificent.
Okay, let's just get into... Okay, so here's... I teach a film class here at the high school.
Okay.
And a lot of students...
I didn't know that.
A lot of students do not think about movies as they watch them. A big goal I have is just to have them thinking about stuff for the first time. And I give them a list of 5 filming criteria just to think about as they watch movies. Because they're not thinking about these things. And I've talked about these before, but the 5 criteria you can think of too, if you want to think about movies, are acting, the sound / music, the editing, the cinematography, and then the mise en scène. And mise en scène is a fancy word for the world on screen or the world on stage. It's what you are seeing. So like the costuming is huge because they're letting the bad guys have gross teeth. It looks like people are sweaty. Like Jack Sparrow looks like a dirty pirate.
Yeah.
Even Elizabeth, like her costume is telling a story. Like she's forced to wear this dress, she's forced to wear another dress. But she's like everything looks amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
So like on top of mise en scène, it's also like the set. They had a literal ship. Only one was a real ship, by the way, the Interceptor.
Oh, okay.
Other ships are like a platform on top of like a barge type of stuff.
There's no Black Pearl. That's sad.
They do make a Black Pearl for the next 2 movies.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not a real ship in this one. Like they have miniature ships in some shots. They have some CGI things going on, but yeah, it still looks. It still works all the time.
Yeah.
It never not works. But like, that's a big part why this movie feels so good. Because it looks so good.
Yeah.
The music is so good.
I was going to mention that too.
It's the definition of swashbuckling music.
Mm-hmm.
It's piratey music now,
Yep.
And it's Hans Zimmer and his protege. But the music is always... Like, you can hum the music after you see this movie.
Yeah.
Which you can't say for a lot of these big movies we see nowadays. Editing, I don't know if the editing necessarily stands out, but that's probably... a good thing. It's not supposed to stand out most of the time. It's supposed to kind of move things along. You're not supposed to be confused of where people are in relationship to each other. And there's ships shooting at each other, people swinging here to there. You're never confused about the geography.
Yep.
That's part of the editing.
Yeah.
Well, and then the cinematography, it's funny because it looks big, but it doesn't have like that CGI sheen that a modern movie would have. So in a way, it looks dated because of that. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It just, you can tell that came before, I don't know.
Everything was CGI.
Everything was CGI. Like eventually, there's a movie in this franchise where there's a giant whirlpool, big giant humongo battle. But in a real way, the ship fighting each other is the most epic battle in the entire franchise.
Like here in this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the mast falling down.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, it feels the most real that way. Everything about this movie, to me, works. And works to this day, basically.
So the choreography of this movie is fantastic. So I... famously in this podcast do not appreciate most action movies.
Yes. Yes.
And so one of the first things that will take me out of an action movie is when the choreography sucks.
Okay.
Like when they're obviously waiting to be shot or punched, or when you can tell that they didn't get hit or whatever.
Yeah.
The choreography in this movie is I think perfect. There's no moment where I was like, oh my, or whatever. Like, everything that they do just works. So
the guy who choreographed the sword fights is the same guy who choreographed the sword fight in Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of fun.
That is kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. So, like, even, like, the first fight with Will and Jack in the blacksmith shop, there's some goofy things going on, but it doesn't break the logic of the sword fight or anything.
Right.
Plus, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was ever going to be a scene in this movie that I would have objected to, it would have been that one, because they're, dancing.
They're in the
on
rafters at one point.
and stuff, but it all fits. Like, it works. There's no absurdity there that doesn't fit in what's already been established as Jack Sparrow's ability to do slightly impossible things, but not like absurdly impossible things.
I do have a question on what you think about this, because at the very end, when throws the coins, then Jack shoots, and then the coin gets dropped. Because you would logically think, wait, would that mean every damage they got?
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, I guess if you want to go logically... But as a moment, as a scene, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And by that point, so far in, so wowed, so enamored with everything else.
That's what I mean.
I was just, I mean, that thought did occur to me. Every time I watch it, I'm like, wait a minute. But I'm like, no, we're not waiting a minute. We're here in, so.
And...
Yes. Yes, you're right.
It's a great part, though.
It is.
Can I just say some of my favorite quotes that aren't like the deep quotes? Like something Barbossa says to the pirates, "You feckless pack of ingrates."
The vocabulary is so fun.
Oh, another key thing from the ride is the dog. Trying to get the dog to bring the keys.
Oh.
There's people whistling for it. That's a ride thing too. Down to the depths, whoever thought of parley.
Yeah.
That would be the French. One that I think is interesting is when they're arresting Jack Sparrow. It's like, one good deed is not enough to redeem a man of a lifetime of wickedness. And then Jack says, though it seems enough to condemn him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Because, is that true? I guess it is. One mistake, one deed. It has
to be. In a law-driven or a law-governed society, it has to be.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, don't do bad things that get you...
Like, the scales of justice have to be balanced.
Yeah.
But, so if you're going to be bad, just be all bad. Don't... No. But...
I love... This isn't one of the quotes I wrote down, but when they're listing off all of the things he's being hung for, impersonating royal monarchy, and he goes, oh, yeah. Here's one that... I think is one of my key themes, insights to this movie. It's brought up multiple times, so it's clearly planted in there. But when Will Turner is saving Jack, these are half-barrel hinges. With the right leverage and application of strength, I can get you free. The theme of using leverage is key in this movie. So it's literally used there to get them out of the cage. But then every character is trying to get leverage over other characters. Yeah. That's Jack's bread and butter. Mm-hmm. Let me find something to gain the upper hand in the situation.
Right.
But Elizabeth, this is why, like, her character she wants to be a pirate. It kind of comes natural to her. She's surrounded by the other pirates. She quickly gains leverage because she has the coin.
Right.
They revealed themselves that, like, oh, they want this coin. I can get some leverage here. And then later, Will Turner hits Jack in the face, knocks him out, like, I'm not going to be your leverage type of thing. Yeah. This idea of how do I get control of a situation, kind of by screwing people over, but
using people.
Least, yeah. And the best part is at the end where it's like, how do I get out of this as Jack Sparrow? Let's don't arrest me. I know where the pirates are. We can get them. Yeah. Then he goes in. It's like, what? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah.
Barbara rolls his eyes. And why don't I want to do that?
Right.
Just this idea of that's what it takes, or that's what people think they need to do, is the right leverage and an application of strength will get me out of this problem.
That's a good insight.
But Will seems to resist it, which is interesting. Elizabeth doesn't resist it.
So I have part of the philosophy
that
kind of ties into that. Are you
Oh, yeah.
Done with your thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I teach in my English classes is they're called cultural dimensions. So there's a long ongoing study about like what makes a culture in terms of, you know, being a part of it. We generally think of culture on a surface level, like the clothing, the accents, the music, or whatever, but there's actually some dimensions or like ways of interacting with the world around us that define a culture. So the easiest, most famous example is Latin time versus U.S. time, right? But that's a cultural dimension. So in this movie, in addition to the leverage thing, what I noticed was there's one of the 17 dimensions is rules. Like how does the culture deal with rules? And I thought it was just fascinating how complex this movie was in terms of the cultural dimension of rules. So we have the extreme. What is the Commodore's name? I don't
Norrington.
Norrington. At the extreme. Well, at one end, we have Norrington. Rules are rules are rules. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter anything.
You follow the rules.
Follow the
get
rules.
Success
Right. The end. And then we just have this just beautiful gradation all the way through to the other end where rules are whatever I say they are right now that benefits me.
Yeah, with the first, taking you back was never part of the negotiation, so I must do nothing.
Right.
Second.
Right, Barbossa's kind of that guy.
And where he says, third, the rules are kind of more, you'd say, guidelines.
Right. And so, like, we have Will Turner's character who starts at one end and moves towards the other end, right? He starts like, I will never be a pirate. I'm not going to help, blah, blah, blah. And then over the course of the movie, it's called universal and particular is the dimension. So universalist is the rules apply universally. And then the particularist, it depends on the situation, the particular situation that we're in. And so we have the Commodore who never leaves his end. We have Barbossa who never leaves his end. And then we have Will Turner moving. And we have Elizabeth who always was at kind of more on the Barbossa's end, kind of more of a particularist rule person secretly. And so her movement isn't that she's becoming more particularist. Her movement is she's becoming more visibly particularist, which makes her character so rich because at the start of it, she wears the dress. She does all the things and comes to and fills all of the roles that are universally expected of the daughter of the governor. But secretly, she's not that person. And so Will Turner moves intellectually. Elizabeth reveals herself by the end of the movie as a particularist. And then we've got Jack Sparrow, who is very fluid in terms of sometimes he is, that's the code. We obey the code. We do the code. And other times he's on his, like, doing his own code, his own thing. So
it's more like, is it more like he's just doing what's best for Jack Sparrow?
Right.
I guess character growth, he doesn't necessarily change. He wants the pearl at the beginning. He wants the pearl at the end type of thing.
Right. And yes, you're right. So at this moment, for me personally, it behooves me to be a universalist. The code's the code. We need to obey the code. You have to do this because of the code. And other times, And so, like, this is just a perfect movie in terms of illustrating this cultural dimension of reality. Like, that's how cultures are formed. And then in addition to that, so one of my intellectual crushes, his name is James Paul G.
Paul G?
James Paul G.
Okay.
3 names. Anyhow. So
the G stands for gangster.
He is a philosophical gangster. Actually, he's a linguist. He's a sociolinguist. But anyhow, So he kind of takes a lot of people's ideas, puts them together into the concept called Discourse. Discourse is, he says, the identity kit for being a part of a culture or a community of people.
Yeah.
It includes, the costume, which is a surface level thing. But if your doctor shows up to operate on you in a greasy mechanics thing, you're going to be like, no. So you need the costume, but it goes much deeper than that. It's the way of thinking like, or speaking like, or acting like, or valuing or believing. All of that makes a discourse. And so the same thing here we have in this movie is just a brilliant spectrum of discourses and people trying to enter discourses and get out of discourses. And so again, we have Norrington, who really never leaves the discourse that he's in. He is a part of the culture of the aristocracy. Barbossa also never leaves. He's always a pirate.
Yeah.
He's never not a dirtbag. And then the other three, again, they're moving through cultures, through discourses. And so, again, Will Turner, initially, he kind of wants to be an aristocrat.
Yeah.
But really, he just wants Elizabeth. And he's very straight-laced, and he talks that way, and dresses that way, and acts that way, and thinks that way, and believes that way. And over the course of the movie, he becomes... at the end, one of my favorite lines in the movie is when Norrington says, "You forget your place, Turner." And he says, "No, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's right here between you and Jack." That's magnificent. But it illustrates his movement in the culture. Barbossa and his crew are scumbags, not because they're pirates, not because they steal stuff or whatever, but they turned on their captain. And that's like the ultimate breaking of the discourse, right? And so he is showing that he's a true pirate in like the code sense of the pirate by standing up for his captain and standing between his captain and danger.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then Elizabeth,
is she the main character?
Maybe.
Because advertising-wise, it's Jack Sparrow. Jack is not the main character.
Right.
And I think that's important because one of the sequels puts him in, and that's the mistake, I think. But Will, I think, is supposed to be, but I think in reality, it's more Elizabeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you reminded me, I forgot, I interrupted you.
You're
what were you going to say? But like one of the key things that shows her change is when she's on the island with Jack, she pretends to get drunk.
Right.
It's all an act because she's now, gaining leverage over him in the situation, but she's also thinking like a pirate now.
Yeah.
Like she's
I
got to burn all this stuff to be found to go do what I need to do.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah. So what you just said is essentially, what I was going to say for Elizabeth. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see because you essentially will watch the next ones for the first time because you don't really remember what happens.
Not really.
I think what they continue to do with her character is not just great but smart. And I think you'll like it because I got a new appreciation over it now because like she literally has a knack for taking control of the situation. She frees the pirates on the Black Pearl, and then she's like, "Everyone, follow me. We can go save him." And then no one does. She's naturally there to like just take control, and I think that it's so cool.
That's why like I said at the very start, I wish we had more female characters like her.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't or don't.
Well, we've watched
really kind of annoying.
Some of the biggest movies. I'm thinking Star Wars and Marvel, but like there are female characters who are
powerful, strong, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know maybe what the difference is.
Right, but those are the exceptions, and that's what's anyhow. I'm not saying anything.
You know what? What's the kind of a bummer? But did you notice Zoe Saldana's in this movie? And she slaps Jack.
Yeah,
You stole my boat.
The captain.
Without asking. She doesn't come back to any of the movies.
That's too bad.
It is too bad because I'm glad not only has she won an Oscar, but she has found success in both Guardians of the Galaxy and Avatar.
Yeah.
So she found good things to move to. It's just in an alternative universe, if she would have been kind of one of the other main leads in these movies, would have been great.
Yeah.
Because I think she's great, but apparently she had an awful time. Like, it wasn't her fault, but like producers or other people in charge basically treated everyone who wasn't the main leads and stuff as second-rate citizens, essentially.
That's dumb.
But apparently Jerry Bruckheimer, who was one of the producers, she said that he has apologized for it, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah, we could have had like another maybe cool other female lead, but no, not to be. The opportune moment thing is kind of a cool thing, because it's, for one thing, he says it to give a clue to Will that I got something up my sleeve. But then it's here's like the movie magic moment to confess your love. And Jack is literally like, if you're waiting for the opportune moment, there it was, kind of like pointing out like, hey, and then Will admits like, I missed the opportune moment, but I'm trying to make up for it right now.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess if there's a lesson there, it's, hey, these sometimes moments come to you to do something. Don't let them pass by.
Yeah. So, quotes, just sorry to go back to like.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? We'll move on.
No, what was it?
No, just the quotes to back up some of the stuff.
Just say
I
so.
think we got.
Like
Elizabeth says, "You're pirates. Hang the code and hang the rules."
Yeah.
Right. That's her trying to be a part of the discourse.
Yeah.
But she doesn't understand the code is something that they value and is a part of being a pirate. And so she's trying to fit there. She overcorrects. Like Barbossa even obeys the code.
Yeah.
And he is our most extreme particularist character.
Right.
And so that moment is illustrating the discourse and what it means to fit in a discourse. She thought piracy just means there's no rules.
Right.
But
there are rules.
There are rules.
Is this on your list of quotes? Because it's a similar idea. What Jack says. The only rules are these. What a man can do and what a man can't do.
Yes. Right. And so that's his position within the pirates, which is why he's kind of a peripheral pirate, because he doesn't believe some of the things that the discourse of being a pirate believes. And so that's why he's kind of on the fringes. So anyhow.
Yeah.
I have a quote that I loved. So it's Barbossa when he very first starts fighting Jack at the end. He says, "Oh, you're off the edge of the map, mate. Here there be monsters." That's so just like, it's an amazing line.
Yeah.
Because like it encapsulates everything about Barbossa and his crew. How do you recognize when you are, like Barbossa says, off the map? How do you recognize that when people around you may not be the people that you think are the people around you? They're abusing you. They're, manipulating you, whatever. Anyhow.
Well, I guess just explore that, because I think you can be off the map literally, like you're lost somewhere.
Sure.
You don't know where you are. But I think more often than not, you're off the map emotionally, mentally,
intellectually, for sure.
And intellectually, it feels like more people are off the map, but like I think there are a lot of people intellectually off the map when it comes to just being closed-minded, I suppose,
right.
or being
so open-minded that nothing means anything.
Right.
There's a space in between those two extremes that I think is where we need to be living. But
yeah.
So one more philosophy thing.
Yes.
All right. So this is not a statement, more like a question I want to discuss with you. So what is the appropriate use of talents and abilities? And let me put the framework around that. So we have Jack Sparrow, who obviously is more intelligent than basically anyone else around him. how should he use that? Or like if we have talents that are obviously, like, you're obviously better at the film studies stuff than I am, like the what makes a movie technically, right? I'm just the guy that does the philosophy stuff. So how should we use that? How should you use that? Because like one option is that you use it to run over people, manipulate people, get what you want, which is kind of what Jack Sparrow does, but like we mentioned earlier, not always, because he saves people, he helps people, he whatevers. And so what is the appropriate use of talent?
I have a couple of thoughts. Because I oftentimes joke about making money, but I think there's maybe something in there. But the genuine answer is actually a quote from a different Orlando Bloom movie, Kingdom of Heaven, about the Crusades, where he has like a writing in his house at the beginning that says, "What man is a man that doesn't make the world a better place?" So I guess the genuine answer is, if you have a skill or a talent, how can you make the world a better place somehow?
Elevate your sphere.
But what I guess probably happens in reality, it might sometimes it gets turned into a weapon or something. I don't know. It gets like used as leverage over someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I was able to use the fact that I have a degree in film and media studies as like a way to get this film class, which I love. And I love that I have this class.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, I mean, I'm so introverted, but if I was maybe a different type of personality that way, I'd be like, this is why you should think this about the movie. This is why you're wrong about the movie. Which I do to you, but it's only because...
I am wrong.
It's because you are wrong most of the time. But I know people who are also into movies who are like so like in your face about stuff. And
This
I don't
is
think
the only way to...
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
no,
That's a good quote, though. Or a good question.
It is a good question. The ethics of the real. There's a moment where Governor Swan offers the idea that piracy can sometimes be the right thing to do. So that's an interesting ethical question. Is it sometimes right to do the wrong thing because the results are going to be good or advantageous or better? We don't have to talk about it. That's just something to
think about.
Because
like, yes, but also no.
Right. So, like, the worst example would be John Wick, right? Like, he does the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. I think my dog died, so I'm going to kill New York.
You know, the more you joke about John Wick, the more likely we are going to do it.
You know, I don't think we are. But... I guess. Or here's a better example. So, my son is currently serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Paraguay.
Nice.
His mission president, who's kind of in charge of him and sets the rules for his mission, has a rule about when to stop teaching someone who's learning. And my son... loves the people that he's serving, but for some reason has a special connection with this one person who, according to the rule, he now has to stop teaching.
Oh, I see.
And he's really, like we talked to him yesterday, he's really struggling with that. And so is it the right thing to do, because he believes in his heart this person is going to be happier with the gospel and wants it, but because of circumstances has, according to this rule, cannot. So it would be the wrong thing, quote unquote, to continue meeting with this person, but is it the right thing to do?
It reminds me of something from my own mission. Like, kind of... there was a family in my very first area. We loved them so much. Like, and they like swore like sailors, all these things. And I think it kind of became clear they might not, they might not ever join the church or any church type of thing. But we still kept visiting them, even though we probably weren't supposed to. And I think it really did matter to them.
Yeah.
Because they loved us too. And I remember I have a friend who's not a member or anything, but a missionary was at his house once. And his young son was trying to show a missionary like something on his own video game or whatever. It's like, oh no, I'm not allowed to look at that or do that.
Right.
And my friend, he had the thought like, I feel like this missionary missed an opportunity to connect with my child type of thing. So it's kind of like the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law.
Right. Yeah. And so that's a long-standing ethical question.
Yeah.
Is doing the right thing for the wrong reason or the wrong thing for the right reason or whatever. So it's an interesting ethical question that I think we don't think critically about often enough. We just either break the rules because or follow the rules because.
Okay, wait, I just remembered something about Norrington at the end.
Okay.
Even though he's like the rule guy, he breaks a rule. He's like, should we go after Sparrow?
Yeah.
We'll give him one day.
Yeah.
He's breaking the rules.
Which is, I hate the end of this movie with his character. Because you can't just, in one scene to the next, become this completely different character.
I don't think that's accurate, but...
That's fine. We will disagree on that one thing about this movie.
Man, I love... It's like, he's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen. So it would seem.
Yeah.
One first fact. At that scene when Jack gets pulled up into the Black Pearl at the end, and all the crew, you can see a man in a cowboy hat in the background, just standing there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's just,
why?
It was an accident, but just someone on set. Jeans, a shirt, and a cowboy hat in the background. Blink and you miss the type of thing. The other thing is, there's a happy accident when Jack chases the monkey. And he goes, thank you, Jack. You're welcome. No, you named the monkey Jack. The monkey just smiled. Like, you can't teach a monkey to smile on cue. It just did it, and it's one of those happy little accidents. It just was perfect.
That's cool.
For it. Something I thought would maybe kind of be interesting is the idea of labels and titles in this movie gets played around with a lot. Yeah. First and foremost, Jack, he goes about calling himself Captain Jack Sparrow. The title is super important to him. It's how he sees himself. It's how he wants other people to see him, even though he's not captain of a boat until the very end.
Yeah.
But the fact that the title is very important to him, I think that's what kind of how he needs to see himself that way. But then even like Elizabeth and Will interacting at the beginning, she calls him Will, and then she says Mr. Turner to him because he refused to call him Elizabeth, Mrs. Swan. So like the idea of the title or how do you address people is important. And how you see each other is important.
That is interesting.
And then, of course, Norrington is being upgraded to, what is it, Captain Norrington? Commodore Norrington. He's going to have multiple ships.
Yeah.
And, like, Jack tries to throw that to Barbossa. It's like, I'll sell under you. What's a better title? Captain Barbossa? Commodore Barbossa.
Right.
So, and then, at the end, you want to fall in love with a blacksmith? He's a pirate. It's just the importance of titles. Like, we are all, and we probably even talked about this, maybe, but like, who are you is important, and how you see yourself is important.
Yeah, for sure.
For who you are.
For sure.
I'm a teacher, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and then among other things type of thing.
Yeah.
But those are important. They're not just things we throw on.
Yeah.
Or,
they
whatever
define or shape us.
How you need to be defined or shaped.
Yeah. Cool.
That's cool.
Good insight.
Thanks, dudes.
You're welcome.
And just for further support, like the perfect movie thing is, I think this movie is easy to follow through, like the hero's journey, all the steps. If you wanted
who's the hero?
Well, like I said, I think it's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
I think it's Will, and then it turns into Elizabeth. Because Elizabeth gets kidnapped, and that sets Will on his journey into the unknown to be a
Right.
pirate. Because he's slowly accepting his fate. He's resistant to being a pirate. But hero's journey into the unknown. You have tests and allies. You got changing characters by the end. See, Will is the one that accepts a new title by the end. Elizabeth's, I guess, for this one, she's willing to follow her heart, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not as exciting as being a pirate, though. Or if you want to just use a 3-act structure, like how do we look at film? Usually there are just 3 acts, and some movies have 5, or annoying people could break it down even more and stuff. But, you know, we get Act 1, all the introductions and setups. Act 2 is where it gets complicated and shifting loyalties. And Act 3 is the final showdown. You know, classic 3-act structure. It's easy to use this movie as like a blueprint of like, hey, this is how stories should be told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Disney famously does that.
Yeah.
They don't push a whole lot of boundaries narratively.
Anyway, I'm excited to take this journey with you, especially the trilogy here, where we we'll see Disney kind of taking a chance. Like, they're expensive movies.
Yeah.
Very expensive. But I think you can tell, and I think it kind of helps go bigger and broader here.
Cool.
This movie could have been a standalone. We didn't need more.
No.
But at the same time, there is a natural drive. Like, I want to spend more time with these guys. You know, I like Jack Sparrow. I want to see what else he can do.
Yeah.
So there's kind of an argument for a sequel. It's like, yeah.
I guess.
And we'll see. we'll be reminded by you. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Because my opinion is if you have a perfect movie, stop.
yeah, but money.
Yeah.
Just to set up Dead Man's Chest, I think I used to see that one as one of the lower ones, especially when it was just a trilogy. But a very popular trend online is it's the best one. So it'll be interesting to see what we think next week.
Cool.
Anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Yep. So one last thing. Today is my son's birthday.
Oh, what?
So I just want to wish Peter a happy birthday in case he ever listens to this episode.
Happy birthday, Peter.
And we love you.
And we love you.
Peter specifically and our audience generally.
Everyone else listening to this too. All right, bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the desert of the real.